Parents are supposed to be protectors, but in some cases, they become the very source of terror. These are stories of shocking parental deception, from fake illnesses to digital torment, that prove the people closest to us can sometimes be the most dangerous. Number 1. The Lauryn Licari case. The Lauryn Licari case stunned the world because it didn't involve strangers. It was a mother secretly tormenting her own daughter. For nearly 2 years, Lauryn received disturbing, abusive messages from what she thought was a stalker. The messages threatened her, degraded her, and drove her to emotional breaking points. Eventually, it was revealed that her own mother, Kendra, had been behind much of the harassment. Even more unsettling were the strange oversights in the investigation. Police quickly assumed Kendra was solely responsible, without questioning Lauryn or her father. Many observers felt that Lauryn's strangely calm reaction and her father's lack of shock hinted they may have known more than they admitted. Online theories even suggest Lauryn may have been aware of what was happening, or that her mother was covering for someone else. Number 2. Ruby Franke, the momfluencer, unmasked. Ruby Franke wasn't just another mother. She was a YouTube star. Millions tuned in to watch her 8 Passengers channel, where she portrayed her family as picture perfect. But behind the curated smiles was a nightmare. Ruby, alongside a controversial life coach, subjected her children to shocking punishments. They were starved, denied basic needs, and in some cases tied up with restraints as discipline. For years, viewers occasionally raised concerns, pointing out moments in her videos that seemed off. But it wasn't until 2023 that the truth came crashing down. One of her children escaped and begged a neighbor for help, revealing horrific abuse. Ruby was arrested and in 2024 sentenced to up to 30 years in prison. The fall of a so-called momfluencer shocked the world, not only because of her crimes, but because she managed to hide years of torment in plain sight, disguised as parenting advice. Number 3. The tragic death of Olivia Gant. In Colorado, a little girl named Olivia Gant captured hearts when her mother claimed she was battling a terminal illness. Olivia was paraded in the media, granted wishes, and even had a bucket list that strangers helped her complete. Behind the scenes, her mother, Kelly Turner, was orchestrating it all. Turner convinced doctors that Olivia was gravely ill, subjecting her daughter to unnecessary treatments, surgeries, and feeding tubes. In 2017, at just 7 years old, Olivia died after Turner insisted her feeding tubes be removed. It wasn't until years later that investigators realized Olivia had never been sick at all. Her mother had fabricated everything as part of a shocking pattern of Munchausen by proxy. In 2022, Turner was convicted and sentenced to 16 years in prison. Olivia's story remains one of the most heartbreaking examples of betrayal, where a parent's lies cost an innocent child her life. Number 4. Kaylene Bowen-Wright, 13 surgeries for a healthy child. In North Texas, Christopher Bowen grew up believing he was sick. His mother, Kaylene Bowen-Wright, told doctors that he had rare conditions, leading to endless hospital visits. Over the years, Christopher was subjected to more than 300 appointments and underwent at least 13 major surgeries. He was placed on oxygen, confined to a wheelchair, and even listed for a lung transplant, all without ever truly being ill. His mother raised money, gained sympathy, and controlled every aspect of his life through lies. It wasn't until one doctor finally questioned the story that the horrifying truth was uncovered. In 2017, Bowen-Wright was arrested, and Christopher was removed from her care. The boy, once believed to be fragile and dying, was perfectly healthy. This case highlighted just how far Munchausen by proxy can go, and how a mother's deception can permanently scar a child both physically and emotionally. Number 5. Shelley Noreika faking seizures for attention. In Pennsylvania, Shelley Noreika manipulated her adopted daughter into living a lie. She convinced the girl to fake seizures, brought her to countless medical appointments, and told the world her child was suffering from mysterious, life-threatening illnesses. Noreika used these fabrications to gain sympathy and even raised money from her community to cover medical costs. But behind the false compassion was deep abuse. Doctors eventually began to notice inconsistencies, and investigations revealed that Noreika had been exaggerating or outright inventing her daughter's symptoms for years. In 2023, she was sentenced to 30 months in federal prison. For many, the most chilling detail wasn't just the deception. It was the way she manipulated her daughter into believing she was sick, trapping her in a false identity for years. The psychological scars left behind are immeasurable. Number 6. Cynthia Abcug. QAnon, kidnapping, and abuse. The case of Cynthia Abcug is one of the strangest and most disturbing examples of parental deception in recent years, because it didn't just involve Munchausen by proxy, it spiraled into conspiracy theories and a kidnapping plot. Abcug, a mother from Colorado, had already come under suspicion for medical child abuse. Like many Munchausen cases, she was accused of fabricating and exaggerating her son's illnesses to keep him under her control, all while gaining sympathy and attention from others. But when authorities intervened and her son was placed into foster care, Abcug's behavior escalated in a shocking direction. Instead of facing reality, she turned to the QAnon conspiracy movement. She began telling others that her son had been taken by a shadowy cabal within the government, and that she needed to rescue him from the foster system. According to prosecutors, she actually plotted with QAnon supporters to carry out an armed kidnapping of her child. During court proceedings, investigators revealed that Abcug's home was filled with extremist rhetoric, and that she genuinely believed violent action was the only way to get her son back. In 2022, she was convicted for child abuse and conspiracy, and her case drew attention as an unsettling example of how fringe internet movements can make already dangerous people even more volatile. What makes the story so chilling is the combination of motives. At first, she wanted control through medical manipulation, but later, her desperation fused with delusions of a larger conspiracy. Instead of seeking help for her own issues, she doubled down on deception, dragging her child and others into her dangerous world. Cynthia Abcug's case isn't just about one mother's betrayal. It's about how manipulation, abuse, and online extremism can combine into a deadly cocktail. It's a reminder that parental abuse doesn't always stay confined within the family. Sometimes it spills outward, connecting to larger forces that make it harder to stop until it's far too late. These cases reveal the darkest side of parenting, when protection turns to deception and trust becomes betrayal. From hidden abuse to conspiracies spiraling out of control, they prove that sometimes the greatest danger isn't from strangers, but from the very people closest to us.